Hi you guys, welcome back to another video. My name is Asia. If you're new to my channel, I am a makeup artist, and I thought that for this series you guys might be interested in seeing how I do clients' faces. Everybody's face differs, everybody's bone structure differs, and it's nice to just see how different makeup artists use their craft and work their magic on different faces. So I hope you guys enjoy. Before I do anything to her face, I make sure that I wash my hands. That's really, really important. Any makeup artist you see should care about their hands being clean before they touch your face. And then I cleaned her face off, even though it was clean before she came to me. I just make sure I go through with a body wipe that I have. That's for sensitive skin as well, and go through and clean her face. I like to start off my looks by cleaning up the brows first. It kind of gives me an area to I don't know, to just kind of follow so that I don't have to worry about where I'm going or what I'm doing. I am using a NYX brush. I don't really know what brush it is, but I am going to put the products that I use inside of the description box just in case you guys are wondering. Usually when I do makeup, I don't like to conceal the upper portion of the eyebrow because I just feel like it doesn't give like a natural look to it. But I guess, to be honest, it wouldn't look natural if you don't, um, you know, finish off the face the right way. So this time I really wanted her brows to look crisp and clean, especially if you have a client, like for me, if I have clients who haven't gotten their brows done in a while, I try to make sure their brows look really crisp unless they ask me to clean their brows up for them. If they haven't, then I might conceal on the top. So I'm just going through and concealing on the top. So there's another thing: get your eyebrows done before you go get your makeup done. It makes our job so much easier. I recently got this brow product from Carity, and when I get brow product, or when I get any new products, I do like to test them out. And so because it's a darker brown, I wanted to try it on Jasmine. And thankfully she allowed me to. She just allowed me to just do whatever I wanted on her face. I love clients that are like that, like just go do whatever you want to do. So I use that brow product. Usually I would use Benefit on the brows because I feel like it gives a really nice look to it. Now I'm concealing her brows with MAC concealer. You're not going to see me holding the products because when I'm working with clients, I don't use the products. Like if it's my own product, I'm going to use it directly from the tube, and I keep that separate from client products. But for clients, I usually put the product on my hand, or I put it on a plate, a makeup plate, and I use the product from there. So this concealer, you'll see my hand is like covered in makeup. So I just take the concealer and clean up underneath her brows, and I am using this concealer as an eyeshadow base as well for her eyes. I'm also going through and concealing any spots on her face that I feel need concealing, and any areas that tend to melt away a little bit faster throughout the day. I don't know if that makes sense to most people, but people who do makeup all the time know what I'm talking about. These areas, I'm just applying this full coverage concealer so that she has just an extra added layer to her face so that her makeup stays put all day. And after I've applied that to the face, I'm just blending out the harsh edges with Red Cosmetics blender. Using a paddle brush is really important to me lately. I used to use and it's not a paddle brush like this, but it was a different type of brush. Most all people on like YouTube are using these like larger brushes to apply their foundation. I find that I waste more foundation that way. So when I use a paddle brush like this, it really like helps me to even out the foundation on the face, to really press it into the face. You'll see I'm not dragging it on her skin, except for with respect to the times when I go around her eyebrow area, just to make sure that I get really close to the brow area. But I'm not dragging it against her skin. I'm just patting and pressing it in. It doesn't use a whole lot of product. I'm not absorbing a lot of product, and it just works really well on the skin to just get it into the pores. And then, of course, I go afterwards and just press a little bit into the face with a blender. Then I don't feel like the blender has used so much of, or like absorbed so much of the product. I am setting her face with a Bare Minerals powder. It's slightly lighter than her skin color, but you'll see how, well, you saw what it looks like in the beginning, so it balances out really well. Here I'm using a concealer that's almost her skin color, maybe like a hair lighter than her skin color. It's actually like the fun part for me. Eyes are like my favorite thing to do. For her transition color, I am using, what palette am I using? That Jaclyn Hill like Vault palette. Can't remember which one, but it's going to be in the description box. And I'm using a Morphe brush to go in and just blend that color all the way up, kind of close to her brow bone. I want her eyes to look really big. She has big eyes, but when she's not wearing makeup, you can't really tell how big and pretty her eyes are. And I really wanted to accentuate, like, I want her eyes to have like this, you know, the Snapchat filter where the lips are like super big and the eyeballs are like super huge. I wanted to really give her that Snapchat filter big eye look, and so that's what I'm doing with her eyes. This purple color that I'm going to be putting into her crease and blending it on top of the transition color came from the same Jaclyn Hill Vault palette. I just can't remember the palette name. And I'm almost certain that that is a Sonia Kashuk brush. I love the Sonia Kashuk brushes. You can find them at Target. I'm using that same NYX brush to slightly, like halfway cut the crease of her eye. In order to have her crease go up where it's supposed to go, I had her open her eyes and look upward, and that kind of gives me the line to follow. In order to make her eyes look bigger, I took that crease line closer into where her eye starts and then higher up in the center, and it just made her eyes look so big and pretty. This deeper purple that I'm using comes from an Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. I'll put the palette down below. And I'm blending that out with the same Sonia Kashuk brush that I used for the crease color. I'm really focusing the color, the darker portion of the color on the outer edge of her eye, and then slowly blending it into the middle of her eye. I don't want it to come in too far. And then using my finger with the same Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, I'm taking a really pretty shimmery coppery color on her lid space. To me, it applied so much better when I use my finger. I just like to use my finger when I'm using shimmer colors, and because I did cut her crease and I want that shimmery color to go onto like where I cut her crease, I use this It Cosmetics brush, It Cosmetics brush, to make sure it went to where I wanted it to go. And now I'm just going back and forth and doing touch-ups to her eye. I'm going in and brushing away the excess. I found that I had fallout with the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette. It was not easy to clean up, so I had to go back in later with foundation and clean up that. And here you'll just see me going back and forth to blend all the colors together so that it looks great. This makeup that I'm, or mascara that I'm this mascara that I'm using is from Maybelline, I believe. Yeah, it's Maybelline. And I'm applying lashes from It Cosmetics. These lashes are the Lash Style Jasmine. Her eyelashes are really super curly, so I have to get really close into her face when I'm applying her lashes. They like to fight back, but we get them on there. we get the job done. I just want to mention too, sometimes when you look at lashes inside of the pack, I know oftentimes for me, when I look at lashes inside of the pack, I go, oh gosh, I could never wear these. But when they get on the eye, they look completely different. So that's something to think about. Like, they might look super glamorous, like when you're looking at them in the package, but on the eye, oh man, like they just look, like these look so pretty. I lined her waterline with the same kind of color that I used for her transition color. I'm going through now and applying a little, well, it's blush from Black Radiance, but I like to use it as, I can't even remember the word just slipped my head now. She is very used to wearing darker colors on her lips, and so I applied a color that is not super dark, but is not super light. A color where she won't kill me if once she sees it. And when she did see it, she was like, I don't want to wear the lip. But then once she kind of saw herself with the whole face and it kind of settled in, she was like, okay, I like this. I really like this. I'm applying highlighter using Maybelline Master Chrome, which is my absolute favorite highlight for darker skin. They actually have different colors of highlight, which I feel like I need to go and get. I am spraying her face with MAC Makeup Fixing Mist or something. No, MAC Fixing, that MAC mist. And now I'm going through and applying blush on her blush on her cheeks with e.l.f. I can't remember the name of the blush though. Now another spray, and her face is finished. She looks absolutely beautiful. Okay. Bronzer, that's what I use the Black Radiance blush for. Okay. Here's a look with her eyes closed, lashes on. She's done, and she looks absolutely gorgeous. If you guys enjoyed this